Good morning. It is Tuesday, November 5th. Here's what we're working on. It's Election Day in the United States. Simone Gavros will tee up today's events.
Overnight fire in Burlington has damaged several townhomes.
And Metrolinx is boosting Go service during Taylor Swift's Toronto concert dates. Good morning to you, and good morning to you, Emily. Seeing you a little bit earlier in the show than normally because you're filling in for Brian today.
I am. A little bit still under the weather, but you know what? That happens when you travel.
Yes.
Doesn't it? What's going on today? So we got a warm day, don't we?
Let me check. No, yes, we do. Another one. Another one. We're going to see daytime highs up into the 20s yet again. I mean, yesterday we got up to a high of 17, but you know what? I'll take it at this time of year. I mean, we're into the first week of November, so well above our seasonal average. Now, before we get to forecast, let's take a look at traffic. Things seem to be moving well. 403 at Waterdown Road. We're also going to be taking a look at some of the MTO traffic. So let's keep our fingers crossed that they work for me, because I know Brian fights with them a lot. The QEW, Nikola Tesla Boulevard, looking good at this hour. QEW at Guelph Line, also moving well. QEW at Appleby, traffic moving well at this hour, and we're also going to take a look at the QEW at Dorval. Things are starting to pick up a little bit, but for the most part, everybody going well. All right, we're going to have your forecast details coming up, but first, the news.
Hey, thanks very much. The U.S. presidential election day is finally here. Millions of Americans are getting ready to cast their ballots to determine the next leader of the country. Simone Gavros is in Burlington this morning with more on what to expect today.
Well, Annette, the latest polling numbers show that the two candidates are neck and neck, and many experts are saying that this is the closest presidential race in modern U.S. history. Now, both the Vice President Kamala Harris as well as former President Donald Trump made their final pitch to voters last night ahead of Election Day.
America is ready for a fresh start. Ready for a new way forward where we see our fellow American not as an enemy, but as a neighbor. And we are ready for a president who knows that the true measure of a leader is not based on who you beat down, but based on who you lift up.
2 days ago, we were at the 5, now we're at the 2. But we have to turn out and vote tomorrow. We're going to vote. But we're right there, and then we're going to do something, a term you've never heard of, make America great again. That's what we're going to do.
Harris and Trump closed out this year's American presidential race with a fierce battle for Pennsylvania yesterday, making their final pitches to voters across a state that could prove decisive in today's election. The all-important swing state has 19 electoral votes up for grabs and is one of many swing states that'll help solidify a win. The winning candidate would need to get 270 votes in the Electoral College. And about 82 million ballots have already been cast as of yesterday, which is more than half the total votes cast in 2020. Now, voting started early for this one small town in New Hampshire with its traditional midnight vote. It's been happening there for the last 60 years. 6 registered voters gathered to cast their ballots, which ended in a tie between Harris and Trump with 3 votes each. Now, this morning, we're going to be continuing our coverage all morning long leading up to the election results. And we're going to have more updates coming today from a political analyst as well as some updates from Democrats abroad. And we'll hear more from people this morning to see what they're expecting to see tonight. For now, sending things back over to you, Tim.
All right, thanks, Simone. Let's come into Hamilton now because fire crews, they were called to a central Hamilton neighborhood last night for a building engulfed in flames. We have some video from a viewer. You see kind of the flames on the right-hand side there. It's behind the building on King Street near Tisdale Avenue. Eyewitnesses, they say they saw flames around 6 last night. Hamilton police say the fire is not suspicious so far, but will be reviewed by arson investigators. Now, that building is vacant, so there were no injuries.
Dozens of firefighters worked overnight to put out a fire in Burlington. It started around 1:30 this morning on Walker's Line near Upper Middle Road. A CHCH freelancer says at least 2 townhouses caught fire. There were flames on the roof. One person was taken to hospital with smoke inhalation. The Ontario Fire Marshal's office has been notified, and we reached out to Burlington Fire for more details.
The Hamilton Healthcare Union is warning of extensive job cuts at Hamilton Health Sciences, hospitals, and other facilities.
Can't afford more cuts. It sounds surreal to say this, but we cannot afford more cuts. Cuts to staff mean cuts to programs. It means cut to services. It means longer wait times in the ER.
Canadian Union of Public Employees says the provincial government is leaving HHS to deal with a projected deficit of $112 million this year. The hospital network has started a staffing review as it looks for cost savings, which the union says will mean job losses. The union is warning that the hospitals are already understaffed and say the Ford government has not kept up with growing demands and expenses at HHS.
Hamilton City Council has voted to support a program to set up vending machines to distribute health supplies, including needles and crack pipes. They're called health boxes, and they were pitched to the city as a way to provide harm reduction services. That's because some supervised injection sites have to close by the end of the year under an Ontario government mandate. Hamilton Ward 8 Councillor John Paul Danko has concerns.
I'm disappointed for the families in the neighborhoods where this is impacted the most, but also for people that are suffering from addictions who will be getting these supplies from a vending machine and not have an opportunity to have any kind of touch point with a healthcare worker to get them the supports that they need.
Everyone agreed we need more ways to reduce harm in our communities, and this is one further tool to do that.
The motion passed in a 10-5 vote and now needs to be approved at the next full Hamilton Council meeting.
Police broke up another demonstration at a Hindu temple in Brampton last night. Peel Regional Police, they ordered the demonstration in Brampton to disperse after it said weapons were seen within the crowd. Protests at the temple resulted in 3 arrests after violence broke out during a weekend visit by Indian consular officials. The police also suspended an officer whom they did not identify following a social media video that allegedly showed that officer participating in the Brampton protest. They say they will not be providing any other information until the investigation is complete. I just want to take you to British Columbia because there more people were arrested at a protest outside a Hindu temple in Surrey. Meantime, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has condemned the violence that erupted during a protest when Indian consular officials visited that Hindu temple in Brampton. Modi says that he expects the Canadian government to, quote, ensure justice in the case.
Butter thefts are becoming a problem. Brantford police are investigating a case where $1,200 worth of butter was stolen from a grocery store. It happened October 29th. 2 men in black clothing and baseball hats took the butter from a store near Linden Road and Wayne Gretzky Parkway. They drove off in a white van. This incident is part of a trend. There have been several similar butter thefts reported in Guelph this year.
And to your favorite pun there. With it being election day down south, the NBA has scheduled no games today just to encourage their fans to head out and vote and be involved. So that meant all 30 teams were in action last night, including the Raptors on the road in Denver.
Abaji sends a screen. RJ, the slip by Abaji in the steal. Chance here to tie or take the lead on this 3. Watson. Denver up by 1.
And similar to their loss to the Nuggets last week in overtime, despite leading by double digits late in the game, the Dinos just could not hang on. Denver would score 33 points in the final frame, take the lead with over a minute to go, while RJ Barrett's game-winning 3, it went down and then came back up. Raps lose 121-119. Nikola Jokic with a triple-double. What else? Good news for the Raps, though, is the play of sophomore Grady Dick. He had another strong game, leading the way with 26 points, averaging 21 points this season. Barrett had 16. Toronto are 2-6 and off to Sacramento tomorrow. What about that other NBA team we keep tabs on?
SGA, he'll drive. What a move. Right through the 2 best defenders on the team.
Well, OKC has been magical to start their season thanks to Hamilton Shea Gilgeous-Alexander. He had a quieter night against Orlando, but that didn't stop one of the only 2 undefeated teams in the association. SGA He had 21 points. Jalen Williams had a 23 in the 102-86 win over the Orlando Magic. And the Thunder are now 7-0 on the year. Each one of their wins have come by double digits. Cleveland, the only other undefeated team, as they beat Milwaukee to move to 8-0.
Caliendo comes in. He's eligible. Here is Hunt for the touchdown. Kansas City remains unbeaten.
Yeah, let's keep the undefeated theme going as we head to the NFL. Reigning Super Bowl champs from KC. The Chiefs just racking up wins. Kareem Hunt took the handoff from Patrick Mahomes for the 2-yard run in overtime to beat Tampa 30-24. Chiefs moved to 8-0. They've won 14 straight going back to last season. A few concerns for Mahomes, who re-injured his ankle, but listen, he didn't miss a snap. Lead his team to victory. One more week before the Chiefs arrive in Buffalo on November 17th for a showdown of two of the league's best. Let's go to the ice. Only 2 games there, which included the Oilers' first loss without their star, Connor McDavid. They had won the previous 2, but they were shut out on home ice to the New Jersey Devils. Timo Meier put this one on ice in the 3-0 win. McDavid, who hurt his ankle a week ago, is back on the ice, could possibly suit up by the weekend for the Oil. No NBA games on election night. Full slate of NHL games, though, including the Leafs hosting the Bruins at the Bank. And championship week in the Canadian Premier League has Forge FC traveling to Calgary to face Cavalry in a rematch of last year's final coming up on Saturday. Thursday night, though, the CPL awards will be handed out, and Forge, they dominated the Player of the Year awards with 3 of the 5 nominees as captain. Kyle Becker, Tristan Borges, and Alessandro Hojabrapur have been honored as the season's best. Becker, 5-time nominee, previously won the honor in 2020. Borges, he led all CPL players in goal contributions, while Hojabrapur was tied for first in the league for on-field goal difference and led the CPL in progressive passes. Hoping to have that Borges character on the show tomorrow before they jump in a plane and head west.
All right, 6:11. Let's take a look at some of your traffic cameras. Not doing too badly outside of our studios. We're looking good. 403 Waterdown Road. A little bit of volume starting to creep in, but that's normal for this time of the day. We are going to continue to see some of the traffic for the Burlington Skyway looking good. This is the south end of the Burlington Skyway, and then this is the Burlington side. Things are starting to slow down just slightly. Not sure if there's an issue. Can't see anything on the camera, but that could also just be volume. This is the Hamilton side. So again, it's a busy time of the day. Now we're taking a look at your forecast details. It's warm. It's really warm. We're seeing daytime highs into the high teens, low 20s, well above seasonal. It is unfortunately going to be short-lived. We do have a cold front that will be coming through tonight, dropping our temperatures significantly. But right now, 17 degrees through Hamilton. We're 16 through Grimsby, 15 through Mississauga, as well as in through the city of Toronto. Now, here's what's happening. We've got this area of low pressure, and what's underneath it? We've got that strong southwesterly flow, and that is bringing in all of the warmth. Now, this area of low pressure is going to continue to track its way north and east, bringing the bulk of the moisture through northern Ontario, but we do have that chance of showers. Cold front sweeps through tonight. Temperatures drop significantly. We're left with a mix of sun and cloud and the potential for a few isolated showers throughout the day tomorrow. So for today, we're looking at 22 degrees, a mix of sun and cloud, but fairly gusty conditions. Those winds 20 to 40 kilometers an hour right across the board. And then tonight, a couple of showers, but still temperatures really, really mild until we get through the day. Tomorrow, that is when we are going to see a change. Now, these temperatures are coming in for today, so this should say today, not tomorrow. We're looking at daytime highs, high teens, low 20s. We are going to be seeing cooler conditions through the evening and overnight, so keep that in mind. All right, lots more coming up, but first, here's Tim and Annette.
Okay, you're going to be doing double duty, Emily, so we're going to take the commercial break so that she can get in her chit-chat spot.
Oh, is she going to the chit-chat spot? And then we'll pretend that we didn't talk to her in the weather, and we'll just be like,
hi, good morning, Emily.
How are you doing today?
Yes.
Okay.
Also coming up, Canada Post says it needs a deal with 2 of its unions now before it loses more business. The details in business coming up. 6:16 on your Tuesday morning. Oh, look who's in a different spot.
I know.
It's Emily.
Good morning. All the way across the studio.
I was going to say, how's the view over there?
It's pretty good. Yeah, you guys look good over here. Yeah, you look really good. Yeah. Okay. Coming up, Metrolinx is providing more train and bus services for Taylor Swift concerts, and it was a very star-studded affair at Kamala Harris's last rally before the election. And guys, because we haven't had enough junk food already with Halloween just passed, it is National Donut Day. We're going to talk about our favorite donuts.
Oh, yeah. Happy to do that.
Right? It's good times.
I do love
Might be a little slow day in entertainment, but that's okay.
Over all the years, we love Timmy's, and they've been supplying donuts for the entire time that I've been here. So it's been a different selection all the time.
Oh,
so
I know.
There's some new ones in the box.
I know. So many donuts. So many.
Okay, so we'll see you at the couch, and then we'll see you in a bit doing the weather and whatever else you're doing today.
Okay.
And thanks for doing that. Okay, taking a look at business news, our dollar is up in overseas trading. It's up 5 basis points, breaking above 72 cents U.S. Gold has gained $3, and crude oil is up 31 cents at $71.78 a barrel. Let's check on things in Europe, where midday markets are up in London, Frankfurt, and Paris.
Asia, you say? Here we go. Over in Asia, Tokyo's markets gained over 400 points after a holiday, with gains also seen in Hong Kong and in Shanghai. What about North American markets? Okay, so North American markets, we had some losses for Wall Street yesterday, some triple-digit losses for the Dow Jones. Ooh, TSX up 90 cents. Yeah, congratulations there.
90 points.
90 points.
0.9 points.
Okay, 0.9 points, yeah. Details.
Yeah.
But we'll be keeping a close eye on these markets today, specifically for the next little bit. With it being election day, the fluctuation is going to be severe depending on the outcome.
Well, in this country, Canada Post says it urgently needs a deal with 2 of its unions before it loses more business. Both sides are still talking, and neither has given the required 72 hours notice of a strike or a lockout. Canada Post says significant changes needed for its delivery model, including weekend delivery, or it's going to fall further behind in the market. In a statement, it says it's offering current employees wage increases, enhanced leave entitlements, and protection of their defined benefit pension. Any new hires, though, would receive competitive pay with, quote, a less costly approach to pensions and benefits. The Canadian Union of Public Employees says its priority is making sure that weekend delivery doesn't compromise their regular full-time routes on weekdays.
West we go, because this is day 2 of a lockout at all BC ports. The BC Maritime Employers Association, they say the lockout, it will continue until further notice, but will not affect grain or cruise operations. It's impacting port terminals from Victoria and Vancouver up to the Alaskan border. I'm not sure why we're showing houses in this, but so you get the situation.
This is where people live?
Yeah,
maybe?
The association says that it's, quote, a difficult decision to lock out 700 foremen comes after their union started industry-wide strike activity. A prolonged closure could have a significant effect on Canadian supply chains.
Oil and gas producers in Canada have to cut their greenhouse gas emissions by 1/3 over the next 8 years. The new regulations from the federal government will reward lower emitting producers and incentivize higher polluting ones to do more. They'll force oil and gas operations to reduce their emissions to 35% less than they were in 2019, sometime between 2030 and 2032. Emissions actually dipped a bit, 7% between 2019 and 2022. Now, Alberta Premier Danielle Smith says they are unrealistic targets, and she promises to fight them in court. The regulations are expected to take effect in 2026, after our next federal election.
Aha! I know why we had that housing B-roll. Because Canada's housing agency says there are risks in the mortgage market. Roll it. More than 1 million mortgages will be up for renewal next year, and a growing share of new mortgages are being issued by alternative lenders, not the big banks. 85% of the mortgage coming due next year were signed when the Bank of Canada's key lending rate was 1.1% or lower. Remember that? The rate now sits at 3.75%. Higher interest rates have already pushed up the delinquency rate to 0.19% from a record low of 0.14% back in 2022.
Okay, taking a quick break right now. Emily is going to be back with traffic and your 7-day forecast.
All right, well, looking me at the QEW Ford plant. It is 6:24. Good morning. Thanks for joining us on Morning Live. Traffic moving well in this region. Looking good. The south end of the Burlington Skyway, of course, volume at this hour. That's what's causing most of the delay. So if you're just heading out, you might want to give yourself some extra travel time. Uh-oh, I've turned into Brian Wood all of a sudden. Sorry, I've cursed the MTO cameras. They're not working. But you know what I can tell you about? I can tell you about your forecast. And get out and enjoy it today. Yes, it is windy. You're going to have to hold on to your hat, but it is warm. Right now we're sitting at 17 degrees in Hamilton. We're 15 through Toronto. Temperatures today getting up into the low 20s. This could potentially be record-breaking. We should be at 9 for this time of year. Huge difference. A mix of sun and cloud, but we could see some scattered showers. So bring your rain gear. The southwesterly flow is what's keeping us warm. Tonight, remaining mild, 17 degrees. We should be 1 for our overnight. Like, we should be sitting around the freezing mark, but we are well above average. Could see a few showers because of that front that's moving through. Now, for your 7-day forecast, you can really notice the dip in temperature. So we're going from 22 degrees today to 20 degrees tomorrow, so still incredibly mild. And then cold front sweeps through, temperatures drop significantly. We're looking at a daytime high of 9 degrees for Thursday, but it's going to be really sunny. So conditions are still going to be gorgeous. We're looking at 10 degrees for Friday. As we get closer to the weekend, we do have a new system that's coming through, bringing us a few isolated showers, and only 9 degrees for Saturday. The potential for showers again on Sunday and a high of 11, and then Monday the sunshine returns. All right, that's a look at your forecast details. Now, here's the news.
Football fans, if you like to take gloating to a new level, Fireball Whiskey has just the thing for you.
It is collecting the tears of disappointed fans after their team loses for a new whiskey. Not Fireball, it's Cryerball.
That's fabulous. That's outstanding.
Official Fireball tier collectors will be posted outside some of the season's biggest NFL and college rivalry games, and as fans leave, they'll use eyedroppers in jars to collect their tears. They'll then be sterilized and distilled to become Cryerball.
This is a real thing.
It's a real thing. Fireball says the limited edition whiskey will be ready for the next NFL and college football
Will it have
season.
the cinnamon-like taste that Fireball does, I wonder?
I wonder if it depends on what the criers have been eating or drinking.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I know you like Fireball. Would you like Cryerball?
No.
No?
No. Even though it's been sterilized and distilled, it's like, no. No thanks.
Oh, goodness. Okay, there's no crying in football?
Yeah, no.
There is, I guess. Okay, half hour down. A lot's going on today, okay? To our friends to the south.
There's going to be crying on some side today.
Big time. Okay, Simone Gavros has you covered. Emily has you covered when it comes to the weather. Nice warm day. We'll see you in a couple minutes.